All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Friday with the Founders. I don't know if Guy's going to be on today because he is out on the East Coast traveling, and most likely it's noon his time, so he's enjoying time with family. But with that being said, I want to thank you guys for coming in today. I want to have a conversation with you guys and hear how your week is going. If you're new to this or you're watching on the live stream, my name is E.R. Wolf. I'm one of the co-founders here at Elify. And super excited. If you're unfamiliar with what Elify is, first and foremost, we started as a technology company, but I'm happy to say we've become a community that's really focused on developing the right knowledge, skills, and tools to help each other be successful. So that's really what it is all about. I want to ask you a question, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and the question is, what inspires you? What inspires you? And I was asking myself the same question, continually. I don't want to say just this morning. It's a constant thought in my mind. What do you do? What do you do, and why do you do it? What do you do, and why do you do it? And if you joined us for our Thursday mastermind yesterday, we talked a bit about this. We talked about gratitude. We talked about all these things that we do, but we really talked about our thoughts, because those thoughts become our beliefs become our words, etc., all the way down to our actions. And I've really been digging into this. And, one of the things that inspires me is having the ability to inspire others to connect and share with the world the things that inspire them. So here at Elify, this is why we have a amazing platform, a tool that people can use to create content, landing pages. A lot of people use it for digital business cards, but just the uses are across the board on how you can build digital content on the platform, how you share that content out, whether that's hyperlinks, QR codes, NFC technology, and really how you connect and you communicate your message to other people. And I think that's what it all boils down to, networking and building relationships and really doing business with people you know, like, and trust. So guys, with that being said, I just want this to be a conversation for today's Friday with the Founders, hear how everybody else's week is going. We talk about a lot of knowledge and skills. And one of the things that we always talk about is making our game plan on Monday, executing our plan throughout the week, and then sort of retroing on the week of, did our plan go as planned? Did we make adjustments? And how did it go? So, Ruben, you've got your hand up first. Go ahead. Thanks for joining the conversation.
Okay, I wanted a big shout out to Scott and his idea yesterday, because I implemented it with my group. I was a spotlight speaker, and so I had the floor, so I opened it up. About 3/4 of them were Elify subscribers. Yeah. And about 2 of them were affiliates. And then we had a guest that was thinking about it and didn't do anything about it. So I started out with the affiliate program. Of course, what I did is I reviewed all those that I already had cards that I created for them. Yep. And then I asked them a question. I said, okay, 2022 is behind us. 2023 is in front of us. Let's be honest, brutally honest with each other. Yeah. You have a story, you have a product or service, and you know who you're going for. Was that story or product or service, or how you managed that conversation, did it bring in revenue for you? Is it working for you in last year? And if not, what are the corrections you're going to be taking now going forward? And I'm saying that I just came back from an Elify meeting that they're going to be launching version 3. It's going to be an incredible development. We don't know a lot about it, but I'm thinking it focuses in on taking your message to your customer in a very simple and impactful way. And then we had a discussion of artificial intelligence or whatever. But the bottom line is we were able to secure 2 things. One, a testimonial from a lady who brought in a guest who who signed him up. She said, I was so surprised when I looked at my account and I saw these coins. Hey, I can make money from this. She said that in the group. So that was exciting. And number two, we signed up that one that was on the fence. We got him a free shuffle account. So now my job basically is to follow up with him. But again, kudos to Scott for that idea. Really appreciate it. We implemented the affiliate program in the meeting.
I love that, Ruben, and it's so awesome to hear that. Thanks for sharing that testimonial as well. And one of the things that I want to talk about, because we don't spend a ton of time within our community talking about the affiliate program. Most of you know this. Like, we're not sitting here going, here's what you get paid out, focus on this. It's all about recruitment or anything like that. But when you think about it in its core, and Ruben, what's amazing to hear is you're in a group, 3/4 of which have already joined because most likely you introduced them to this. You know what I mean? Some have become affiliates and they're starting to spread the word. Guys, we're in a position to get paid to network. Think about that. Getting paid to network, to get out and to meet people and to share with those people what we already do, what inspires us. You know what I mean? To share who we are, to share the products or services we represent or our brand. To get paid to network and, to really get paid to share. And it reminds me of stuff that Guy has mentioned in the past about the size of the industries that we serve. There is so much opportunity out there. I think this is why Guy and I opened up an affiliate program. It's literally a $150 billion market. Like, to me, that blows my mind. Whether you talk about digital business cards or landing pages, whether you're talking about QR codes, NFC technology, or business networking as a whole, guys, when you sum up those markets, it's $150 billion. And what I love, Ruben, that you're talking about and what you shared with us is Elify gives you the opportunity to plug right into that, to capitalize on that total addressable market without having to do any personal heavy lifting other than to start using the technology and sharing it with other people. So I appreciate that feedback. And thank you so much for that, Ruben. James, you've got your hand up. Go ahead.
Well, let's keep talking about how affiliates are excited. The other night, I had a client I was working with some coaching for business, and I showed him that he had his free card, and I actually pulled up on the screen and went through the step-by-step of the affiliate program. He was excited, and he said, wait a minute, you can make cash over here. So he got in his mind frame, he's actually making a family generational wealth. He's looking to get an account for each of his children, develop them the way he want to have developed, so that as he's making, telling people about Elify, he's also building wealth for his children to start off with. So that's another way I looked at it. I haven't thought about showing people about that, but that's another avenue to walk down. I just got to finish this path here first, then come back and start that path. Excuse me. Something else I did, I actually yesterday went back to what somebody did in the beginning of the year. I know me and Ruben and the guys have talked about it with the promo cards. So I actually was meeting with a young lady who's going to be a personal, she owns several gyms and she's a speaker as well. So I actually created a review card for her, full card. And so when she sat down, hey, how you doing? Hey, let me give you a review card. And then I put on her phone, it popped up the whole conversation for what we're going to talk, stopped. What is this? What did you do? So I showed her that, and I showed everything with my full card, how she could potentially do that. I said, if I'm going to give you a free card. Well, no, can I do the same thing this way? No, you can't do that with the free card, only this. What am I saying? By actually showing the full potential to start, and where to start at, most people are going to say, hey, I want to start here because if I can do this here, why would I go down and then go up? So her assistants will be contacting me today so we can get everything started with her and move on to the next level. So like I said before, look and see what worked in 22, bring it in 23, what didn't work, replace with something else. Glad to be here, guys and gal.
I love it. I love it. I really do. James, you mentioned it. I can earn with this thing. Ruben, you mentioned it. What are these coins? I've had people, we call it the passive referral, right? People who are using the technology every day and are exposing these tools to other people are actually making referrals, the passive referral. They're not actively promoting the brand or things like that. And then they come to the realization that they've actually done what was required to earn without even knowing that that's what was required. That's sort of a big aha moment for us is this is not rocket science. Anybody can do this. I firmly believe that these skills can be acquired and applied, and there is limitless potential in that. James, you talked about the strategy and generational wealth. I was on a call yesterday with an individual, and I said, first and foremost, I want to be transparent with you on the call and with everybody who's watching this. Elify is not get rich quick. Okay. So if you have that in your mind, you need to replace that. This is build passive residual income over time. Okay. And I think if we're, we set our expectations right. I dislike those internet gurus or personalities that are selling the dream, right? And they want you to buy in on the dream and they want you to spend big dollars on the dream, and they're going to show you the fancy cars, and they're going to show you, the luxury houses and all of those types of things. And the reality is, and I want everybody to understand this because I have a master's in finance. I was going to be a financial planner before I got into technology, guys. The reality is a majority of America, okay, and this is probably even bigger so worldwide. I think it's something like 85% of Americans can't afford an unexpected $500 expense, right? If we're sitting there in Maslow's hierarchy, if you've ever looked up Maslow's hierarchy, and most people are surviving instead of thriving, the first threshold and goal for everybody out there, a majority, is to start to thrive, is to get over the worry and the need and the doubt of that unexpected $500 expense. Before I sit up here and say, you can earn $100,000 a month, you know what I mean? You're going to be a millionaire, that type of stuff. I want you to first and foremost set that first goal. Have you ever made money online before from your mobile device? There's a path that you can do that. And there are people on this call who've already done that, and they are a testimonial to that. And if you've never made a dollar online, your first goal is to make your first dollar online. Not your first $1 million online, your first dollar online. And then rinse and repeat that process and scale that process. It doesn't get harder than that. Then it's, go ahead, Ruben.
Talking about harder. I'm sure all of us have been through this, okay? We go to a meeting.
Yeah.
I went, when I left Pfizer Pharmaceuticals, I was disenchanted with the way they were marketing the drugs that we launched in California.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend at that time said, hey, Gulf is interviewing. I thought it was Gulf Oil. Okay. It was Gulf Development, a sign company in Compton, California. I walked in there and this guy had a sample and he said, okay, you guys take this sample and you go door to door to all these small businesses. They don't have the sign that they need to attract traffic. Okay. Yep. And we have a modular concept, not like these big sign companies. You take the sample in there, you show them how, you draw up the copy, and he writes a commission check, and that commission's yours. And you can make blah, blah, blah. Well, all of a sudden I said, okay, I have nothing else to do. And so I traveled up and down the coast with a trainer. He was an attorney at the time. He needed some money. I caught the bug.
Yeah.
I caught the bug and left California for the Midwest to help him open up his business.
Yeah.
Up to Pittsburgh, opened up a franchise, opened up one in Nashville. Guys, it was hard work, but it was such a rush because number one, we went to Europe on it. Number two, we went to the Bahamas on it. Number three, we had all this cash. But guys, after a while, you can start to see the glow starts to change, sign ordinances or whatever. So you got to make a move back. So I made a move back to medical. I was very fortunate to make that decision, to realize that. But there are a lot of dreamers out there right now. there's a group of people in my network that are in this life wave kick. It's a patch that you put in the back of your neck, and it's supposed to relieve all kinds of pain and all. You hear the same thing again. They're going to conferences or whatever. They're spending a lot of money, but a majority of people won't go that far.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm saying here is what I have here with Shuffle is basically, it's a pathway. It has to be worked, but it's nothing like pie in the sky. And if you do work it, you won't be disappointed.
That's what I think is so important, Ruben. It works if you work it, and working it is worth it. You know what I mean? If you need a mantra to talk about, it works if you work it, and working it is worth it. And I think that's with anything in life. And we spend a lot of time during our calls and our lives and things like that, not even talking a lot about the tool, but talking about some of the knowledge and skills that as professionals in any profession, if you apply these skills, if you apply this knowledge, if you work it, you're going to get results, you know? And I think that's the big thing. That's also a misconception for a lot of people who are being sold the dream. You know what I mean? I think Guy and I could get up on stage and we could sell any dream anytime, you know what I mean? But that's not the goal. Our goal is not to sit here and say, how do we line our pockets? How do I get somebody to spend a bunch of money? And I'm not going to talk bad or negatively about any companies out there who might be leaning in that direction. I'm just saying, if you want to be successful at whatever you are doing, you need to have the right knowledge, the right skills, and the right tools, and you have to put all of them into action. And it's the belief that you have in your ability to succeed, the hope that you have in your ability to succeed, combined with that action that will equal results. It doesn't have to be more complex than that. And if you have the right, like what I love about a tool is it gives you a mechanical advantage. I mentioned this on a previous call, right? There was an old Times article, or maybe it was in Life magazine, and it showed the speed of all of these animals within the world. And, you know, you got the turtle at the top and the cheetah at the bottom, and right there smack in the middle is the human at the rate at which they run. And then the only other thing that was a human on that thing was a human on a bicycle. Like, a bicycle is a tool, just like technology can be a tool. But if you're going from point A to point B and your bicycle is just sitting in your garage, it's not taking you anywhere. So you have to apply the tool or the skill or the knowledge. And those who do, that's the testimonials you're hearing. They're the individuals who come in and say, yep, this is all I had to do, and this is what resulted. You know, and again, if we can come back and solve that basic need for people, if I can show you how to make an extra $500 from your mobile phone on a monthly basis, does that solve some problems for you? You know, if you can do that once and then do it over again and over again. And what I love about what we do is we're talking about residual compensation. So every month you're building on the previous month. We're talking about leverage, right? I always say that John Paul Getty quote that I paraphrase. I'd much rather have 1% of the efforts of 1,000 people, because I can't put in 1,000% effort. We're all going to be limited to the same 24 hours in the day. You know what I mean? But if we can leverage a structure, a path, a model that helps us continue to grow over time, you know, the results can be phenomenal. Jeff, you've got your hand up. Go ahead. Always a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, gosh, I actually was just pulling up a couple of my, you hit a couple points. I've got my slide deck over here I was working on this morning, and I've got 2 slides that are generic, but would be great things, what you just said. I won't display them. I'll just read them real quick. So this is one of my slides, and it says, now, one thing I want to stress before we get too deep into this, in other words, the presentation, I want you to understand and think about Elify and what you're talking about, ER. I want you to understand this, that this presentation is not another push button biz op, and this is not going to be some guru teaching you how to get rich quick.
Yeah.
So that's some verbiage. And then I have some other things too about, you know, wasting time and money and spending a lot of money on another big training program. And again, I get hit up all the time. I'll get the free. I know what a value ladder is. I get the free. I'll even spend money on the 7 because I'm learning how some of these funnels work. Ultimately, then they want me to get on a call and they want to sell me probably a $2,000 to $5,000 training package.
Yep.
To help me reach my goals. And so I think that's one of the things that during this year, and I think you're doing it too, as this conversation is right now, because I didn't know where we were going to go with the conversation. But it's gone a couple different ways. And Ruben, I talked to my wife about, we were looking at art today, and she said, boy, I'd like to get art, but I just don't know like what's good art or how much to spend. And we've been to art shows, and there was a guy, he was like 99, and he was doing this art as commercial about his art studio. And I said, I know two people personally. One is a classmate who does beautiful spiritual artwork. And then I said, there's a guy named Ruben Carrillo. Am I saying that right? He's a, so anyway, the whole networking thing, that's that. And then when you were sharing your story, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I left teaching and coaching, and I bought a vending company for over $100,000. I mean, I could have, and I started to go, and it would be exhilarating to pull out that pile of cash and come home with a box full of cash. But my brother, who I lost, said to me one time, he came on with my route. He said, Jeff, you got freedom, to, kind of work a couple of days, work real hard and have a couple of days off. But, you're kind of like the dairy farmer. You can only leave your machines or your cows so long before you got to run back and fill them with LaCroix and your healthy snacks. That was a healthy snack business. I was one of the first to do it. Anyway, so you got me thinking about that, Ruben. But I've thrown a couple things in the chat that I want you guys to absorb a little bit. And then since you started the conversation here about affiliate program, I read a lot of books. I'm actually reading The Iceberg Effect right now, which is teaching about the secrets about how to do affiliate marketing the right way. And there's a lot of good stuff out there, and you can just apply it to your business however you want to, whether it's through, word of mouth networking, whatever. Some people want to automate a little bit more and build some automation into that process. But either way, it's just sharing what you believe in and then monetizing that. So that's the word that I put in the thing. And I think a lot of people say, well, I want to do what my passion is. Well, you know what? If I ain't making any money because you like to make clay pots, that's great. Make that your hobby. But I think some people get confused that you have to have a business that's an absolute passion. And I think that's a misconception. You have to love your bit. Like, for instance, the healthy snacks. I'm not a big snack guy. So I wasn't out in my warehouse eating snacks all day, but I believed in the concept of making alternatives for the kids in the schools, people in the businesses, to be able to hit a button and get a healthy snack or a drink instead of the crap, because I was a health teacher for 7 years. Yeah. So is any of this making sense? I'm just trying to pick up on what you guys have already talked about and just try to, bring it into a central theme. But I really appreciate the conversation today.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you joining and giving your thoughts and contributing. Real quick, Scott, you've been called out. I'll give you some time to prepare in the chat by James here, talking about leading with your idea again of the affiliate program. But before I let you get into it, I'll let you prepare for a second. I want to come back and we're all talking about our stories here, guys. I can't believe I'm saying this. I was blessed. I'm like so grateful. I was blessed 20 years ago to come across the concept of affiliate marketing. Okay. If you go back 20 years ago, it's like 2001, 2002. I'm going to paint the picture, right? Dial-up was no longer there as a thing. We're starting to get more high-speed Ethernet internet, and the dot-com bubble had just collapsed. And yet I got involved in technology and in web marketing and realized that if I connected people who were looking for things with people who were selling things, I could be the conduit for that. And those people who were selling things would give me a commission. And all I had to use was a hyperlink, right? A URL to do that. So it would track towards me and I would get credit for that. That's, in my mind, Jeff, how simple it is to paint the picture of what affiliate marketing is. And we were very successful at it. We were very successful at it. And you have to imagine, I'm a sophomore in college, no longer living in the dorms, and we were living on a golf course just outside of Boulder, Colorado, collecting what we called mailbox money. We just played on our computers. And I always was brought up, go to school, get a good job, work for 40 years, put away 10% of your monthly income for 40 years, starting at 18 all the way up. And hopefully by the time you're 65, now like 72, you can start pulling some money out of that. And that's the path to the American dream. And I'm not saying affiliate marketing is perfect by any means. There are some pros and some cons to it. but it's just better. I had to like explain to my parents how you could play online. And guys, we're online right now. We didn't have to leave the comfort of wherever we're at to come here. Like that's the power of technology, that we can be on computers, we can be on our phones, and we can create an income stream. And that's so powerful once you understand that mechanism. Now, Jeff, when I was getting started, we had to think about what we were doing and the impact of what we were doing and how we were doing it. And there were some flaws in our model. One of the products I sold was an ebook. It's very challenging to get the same person to come back when you talk about monetization, to come back and purchase that same ebook from me every month, right? So I wanted to sell something that was a consumable product that got purchased or repurchased every single month. You know, we didn't get a lot of leverage in our traditional affiliate modeling concept. So all of the commissions that we generated, we had to drive ourselves. So those are some components that I know we've implemented because of that experience, that past experience, that have really helped us and the rest of the community by offering things like residual compensation and leverage. And I just think that these are such powerful things that if people can understand this and start to implement it, it's just as important as why we create technology as why we offer the opportunity, you know, where we truly believe that this can be a path for people to achieve their dreams. Now, I know, Scott, I called you up real quick. I'm going to take Danon's question, and then we'll get to you, Scott, if you're okay with that. Yeah, go ahead, Danon.
I was trying to the Baldwin, the week at a glance.
Mm-hmm.
I have it in my card index, but I was trying to clone it as one of my cards.
Okay.
But for some reason, it said that this is made on the desktop builder.
Okay.
So it wouldn't let me clone it. I don't think it wouldn't let me clone it into one of my cards. I don't know why.
I just pasted my version of that week at a glance card in there. If you are cloning, Danon, make sure you're on the desktop if you're cloning a desktop card. If you were on your phone trying to clone it, if it was built on desktop, you can only use mobile built cards editing and building on your mobile device. So that's probably what you encountered. I can take a look at that. And then I would encourage you, if that's something you want to dig into, Tech Tuesday, 2 p.m. Central Time, we can get on and we can make that a topic. One of the things that's on my list of high priority items is I want to create a series of templates that are master templates, custom templates for all of us to use, that are going to be things for like our Monday motivation post that we're going to start doing, our Tech Tuesday, so that not only can you come to Tech Tuesday, but you can invite other people, other users to Tech Tuesday, our networking events that we're doing on Wednesday, our Thursday stuff, our Friday stuff. We're going to have not only a week at a glance card that has all of those things, but we're going to have templates that we can all use for each of the individual ones as well. So I'm going to be cranking through on that. I've got some homework for this weekend to be working on. But we can go through that whole cloning process. If you ever get that little pop-up, this is a desktop built card, that just tells me you're on your phone trying to clone it. You'll need to be on your computer to do that. However, that brings up another huge point, guys. You can build web pages on your phone in what, like 10 minutes, 20 minutes max? I don't think we were in a position to do that 20 years ago. When I got started in affiliate marketing, you had to code a web page. You had to learn HTML. You had to be a partial graphic designer to make something that people could come to that would convert into sales and therefore into affiliate commissions. Nowadays, guys, this is the advancement of technology. It's 2023. It's not 2002 anymore. This is so much more accessible to more and more people, and I think that's part of our mission.
Okay, my next statement. I was just wondering if it was possible, like when you all either go into like the beta testing or something like that, that you either put it into the affiliate Facebook page or something like that, because I go in there thinking I'm gonna do something, and then I find out that y'all done revamped everything, and it's not just hard for me to figure out if I know where it is, if I know that it was there. But when I go in there and you all did new things, I'm used to telling a person like, okay, well, this is what you're gonna see.
Yeah.
Like, or like for instance, when I'm building a card on my card, we might say share card. When somebody that I sign up build it up, it might say send card. So it's just something that, I mean, it's just like something like, if y'all could just give us some type of information,
Yeah.
like when it's time, so we'll know what to look for when we go into these parts of the application.
You got it. You got it.
All right.
Appreciate that feedback. Jeff, we'll get to you in a sec. Scott, I want to call you up real quick, just because James called you out at the beginning of the chat.
I asked the question.
Yeah, you had a great idea that you mentioned this week about your pivot or your shift in focus into 2023. And if you don't mind sharing that, I would really appreciate it.
Sure. It's just, like probably everybody on the call here, we came to Elify because we had something we wanted to promote. We have a business, and many of those are probably in like the network marketing space, or it could be another business. And as I started looking at and listening to actually it was the Friday calls and hearing more and more about the affiliate opportunity, I got just thinking just how amazing the affiliate program is with Elify, because what you have done is you've kind of taken affiliate marketing and made it better by giving it both a leverage and a continuity or residual income approach similar to network marketing, but have taken out some of the challenging aspects of network marketing that are in the form of having to achieve certain ranks or a complicated compensation plan. And you've just made it simple. It's just about a link. Mm-hmm. And then your link is connected to anybody who comes in underneath you and shares the same way. So you get an override on it. And so, but a lot of people don't understand that, like Jeff said in the chat, so what if just kind of flipped the conversation, because the tagline, the mission of Elify is to elevate your business and simplify your life, right? Yeah. And a lot of times we say it's to elevate your business and simplify your life by helping you promote your career or business. And we also have a additional income stream. But what about flipping the script to, Elify is on a mission to elevate your business and simplify your life by helping you create an additional income stream while also promoting your primary career or business. Yep. And then showing the video, the 9-minute video of you and Guy talking about how the system works and how it is so much better. And then putting that on a card that has a couple of just 2 links that go, both of them. The first one might be, here's how you learn more after you watch the video, that goes to the affiliate website. Yep. And then kind of explain, go into a little bit more about then what it actually does. Yeah. And then have, here's how you get started, go back to that same affiliate website so they can sign up, and then have another card that shows how they can just simply take the card that you've created and just by switching up 2 links and the contact information, they all of a sudden have a business.
So true. And
then that card that also shows them how to duplicate your card, because it doesn't matter what works, it matters what duplicates in this business if you're looking to create an organization. And on that same card, invite them into the community so that they can then learn how to build a card for their primary business or career. So it just kind of flips things around, so they get exposed to it by creating a business, and then they can then create more, whether it be another side business that they use to market it with, or they use it for their primary business. But they already have a business that they can share within 10 minutes or less, probably in 5 minutes if you're helping them, probably 15 minutes if they're watching and reading the step-by-step. Yep. And then you start to help them create space in their life.
It is space.
So that they can do what their passion is, which might be some other side business or starting a simple business of their own. So that's kind of where I'm flipping the script in 2023. Actually, I have to jump off for another call. So
you're good. First off, thank you so much, Scott, for contributing that. I think you are spot spot on. I know you've got to jump, but I really want to say thank you. I appreciate you contributing that. And Jeff, before I kick it over to you, I want to call out a few things, right? What Scott was talking about with promoting. I mean, that was and is and always will be one of our whys. And I mentioned this at the beginning of this call. Our goal is to inspire people to connect and share with the world the things that inspire them. That's your primary thing that you're promoting right now. You know what I mean? But also it's to give people a conduit or a path to free up that time in their life by creating passive residual income through the affiliate program. So the way that Scott's positioning it, I think is so powerful. I also want to speak specifically to the two components that Scott called out, because he's spot on. You know, we looked at what were the benefits of affiliate marketing. It's ease. I got to share a link. That's all I got to do. You know what I mean? I've got to put eyeballs in front of content. It might be my content, the company's content, what I'm promoting, etc. But that's the power of digital marketing. But as I mentioned at the beginning, with my own experience 20 years ago, there are some drawbacks, and it's tough for me to see companies out there that have these great elements, but also have drawbacks. I want to take the best of all worlds, and I want to bring them together to create an efficiency or an optimal model. And I struggle when I see companies that they're like, oh, we are developed for distributors by distributors, but then they become corporate and they implement the same fatal flaws that I see in some of the other businesses out there. You know what I mean? No, guys, this is for affiliates by affiliates. And here are the reasons why, to Scott's point. We don't require you to have some exorbitant personal volume on this. You know what I mean? Everybody that you're hearing from today, they're just a subscriber like anybody else. They're just a customer like anybody else. They just realized that the solution they were using to promote what their primary promotion was, other people need to promote too, and they could share that out with them, and it could help those other people. Guys, we don't make you have some type of rank to earn. When you go to the affiliate program, you're going to see what every single affiliate is qualified to earn. You know, a full stop. You get it all at time zero, and it's really just going to boil down to what your effort is, what your referrals are, what your team referrals are as well. I think that's so powerful in creating a model that can be a conduit to passive residual income. So, Jeff, you've been patient. Thank you so much. Again, go ahead.
No, I mean, I always have one thing on my mind, and then you guys. So the verbiage that Scott was using and the verbiage that it's like, if you looked at my slide deck right now, it's like, oh my gosh, we're all on the same page, yeah. Right? And so I'm thinking I need to have you guys or anybody else on there to do that, because it's one thing for me to talk about my thing, or ER to talk about his thing, and any of you talking about your thing. It's always better if you have somebody else talking about you. Like if I compliment my wife in front of my twin daughters, they'll be here tonight, by the way, for some cod ER. So I'm totally into, my wife's going to make some baked cod for us. I know we're both trying to be healthier. So anyway, so that's number one. Now back to Elify Shuffle. Anna, you're on the call today. And I know a lot of times you think, oh, these guys are athletes and they all talk this macho talk. Me and my wife are on this mission because we're leaving, I think, Tuesday for Alabama, right? For the next 7 weeks. So what do? You're racing to get organized, and it's the beginning of the year. And so I decided this morning to do an Elify card. You guys can have full access to this. Again, just edit it, make it your own, because what Dana and you mentioned, we waste so much time doing what? And I am guilty of this. I can't find the week at a glance, or I find the announcement and I can't find the link. I'm horrible. You guys, I'm awful at finding things, right? And so I did some house cleaning, and ER, can I just give a quick peek at its generic? It's how I'm going to be organized, and you guys can copy this thing to the nth degree. And Dana, this will help save you some time based on what I think you're trying to accomplish. So is that okay?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, it's my new, and I love this picture. So stop the overwhelm, right? Can you guys see this okay? So this is what's called my Instalink. I just made that up, right? I just made this whole thing up. You can call your link, the James link or the ER link or the day, whatever. Just call it keep my life in order link. And then what you do is, like, for instance, I'm going to start with tools, right? I just went in and I made sure that I did tools, and see how I made sure I cloned, I edited everything first, all the buttons first. And then I went in and, for instance, here's Elify Shuffle, ClickFunnels, Aweber, Vitalit, the list goes on and on. This is stuff I pay for. And this is stuff I forget about. So, I mean, these are my tools. And again, I got more, but then I got my groups. Well, there's week at a glance. Instead of putting each of the things in, I've got a button, then I click that. I get all of the full week of Elify. I don't have to go hunting. Is it Monday? Is it Tuesday? Is it the Wednesday? Where's that Wednesday thing? I'm going to put it all. And then I've got my groups that I personally run. And then sites. Sites are going to be the places that you guys need to go to on a regular basis. That might be, if you're in network marketing, you get your company page, so you can go there and get in your back office, yada, yada, yada. Those are the sites that I like to go to on a regular basis. It might be Wordle, so that I can play Wordle every day, whatever. And that's it. See how simple that is? So you just throw your categories, your buttons, and I'll tell you what, this card will copy it. It will live on my desktop on my computer. I will actually have it saved. I don't even have to open up my Elify link. I'll just put it right on my phone as a home screen, so I can tap it, and then I can get into, and trust me, what you're seeing here, I got many more. I just got started on this today. But you got me, Dane, and you got me thinking about that, because I have really been struggling with getting my life in order with all the different sites and groups and things. And I said, enough is enough. I'm going to stop what I'm doing and take some time to get organized. It's like cleaning out my closet before I go to Alabama. That makes sense to everybody?
I love it. I love it. Great example, Jeff. And when you have that finalized, feel free to share it in the insiders group, so people can clone that layout, or at least see an example, or throw in a snapshot. Anybody, guys, what you just saw that Jeff shared, every one of us is capable of building that from scratch on the platform. We don't even need to clone that. You know what I mean? And I think that's the power of the technology and the power of the platform. Is what amazes me is the variety of uses, right? You might be hearing this or seeing this because you were introduced to Elify as a digital business card. What Jeff was just showing was not a digital business card, right? That was like a link hub that just made things more efficient for him to do what he does better. Anna, I know Jeff mentioned you, a author card for a book, or a book card that can help promote a book or promote the authors within a book. That's more than a digital business card. You know what I mean? And Jeff, I just want to come back on one thing you mentioned while you were talking. And you mentioned the power of, not just the testimonial, but just in general, having somebody talk about, give praise to something else. I can sit up here all day long and tell you guys, I think Elify, I think Shuffle, I think the tap card, these are the next best things since sliced bread, in my opinion. Okay, I'm a bit biased in saying that, but I'll shout that from the rooftops. And we as a technology provider will continue to look for innovative technology and tools that can help people do what they're doing better. Because in my mind, that's the bicycle, right? That's the mechanical advantage that we can all gain. But the other thing is the power of word of mouth, and the power of a customer. And this is for everybody who's promoting something, okay, anything. The power of having one of your customers turn around and bring the next customer to you. It's the most powerful form of marketing there is, word of mouth marketing. When somebody comes and says, hey, you know what? You need to meet so-and-so, or you know what, there's this amazing product or service that I've used. That's something that I can't do about my own company. So if you can empower others to do that, and that's what we're on a mission to do, I just think that can have such a great impact. So I'm so thankful for you guys just being brand champions for Elify and for Shuffle, in both using it as customers and and sharing it as affiliates and ambassadors of this brand. Because I think that's really what we focused on, is saying here it is, use it to promote, as Scott said, what you do, so that you can promote it more efficiently, a bit better, and then if you like it, turn around and share it with the world. And if somebody comes in because you shared it with them, we want to give you a reward for that. We want to compensate you for that. We want to give you a commission for that. And essentially no strings attached. Why? Because this truly is an affiliate program designed by affiliates for affiliates, and really taking that best of to make it available. So yeah, Jeff, if you've got more to add, and guys, if you want to join the conversation, use that reactions button in the thing. I'm not, Jeff, nothing against you because you've used it. I've already said, but we want to hear from you. So go on ahead and raise your hand and contribute to the conversation.
10 seconds. The card that I just built, some are asking for, I went ahead and put the code in there, but here's what Elify does. So again, I'm going to toot your horn, ER and Guy. The strip, whatever you call it, the section that has all the socials, I don't have to go and make buttons for my LinkedIn and all that. I can have those right there so that when I open that card, which again, put your stuff, I put my stuff, but what's cool is I chasing after my LinkedIn, I got the Facebook and this, and this. And again, it opens up my personal profile. I can put that in there and that. So just keep that in mind that your socials are already in there. Load that baby up and then load the buttons this way. You will never be lost again. Yep. End of my sermon.
No, I appreciate that. I think this is the other thing I want to call out that I love about the Elify community is we have such an abundance mentality that all of us are willing to give more than we take. We're willing to help others along their journey. And I think it's that collective group effort. I always use the old saying, the high tide that raises all ships. And so I really want to commend you, Jeff, for, you took it upon yourself to build that card. And then you took it upon yourself to say, here is the clone ID for that card so that I can save you this much time. And guys, really it is. It's probably like this much or this much time to help you advance forward and implement that card template. Again, you could build that template that Jeff was showing. I promise you, if you know how to use the tool, 20, 30 minutes if you don't have your links and you're collecting them as you go along. But if Jeff can save you 20 minutes of time, and now you're just going in and replacing those things, this is why we're focused on our end for V3. And Ruben, you mentioned this, and really simplifying the way that people build these things. We're going to simplify it. We're going to make it like what Jeff was saying, where you can just put in your social. You don't have to build social buttons. We want to give you widgets that allow you to just pop it in and then put in the link for it so that it can become more efficient. If I was to tell you, I don't think I could say 20 years ago that my grandmother would be able to build a landing page. And now, sitting where we're at right now, I have confidence that my grandmother could build a landing page, and she doesn't have to be like an IT specialist or have a degree in computer science, all of that type of stuff. And that's really what the goal is. It's to make this technology accessible to everybody. And Ruben, I think you mentioned it, from 8 to 100 type of thing, because that's really what it's about. Anna, yeah, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
I just wanted to mention that I did put the shuffle card code for the book card that we created in the chat. So I do not have the capability of cloning it because it's not mine. Yeah.
Yep. Great card.
And each one of these is an author, and you can click to their website or their email address according to what they wanted. And then the names of the authors and which chapter they're in. I'm probably getting my hard copies in about 2 weeks, but this has been amazing. Their first day, launch day, they went Amazon bestseller in 3 different categories, but this card generated almost 30% of those purchases. That's how reducing the friction made a difference. So I love this. I'm hearing reduce the friction, reduce the words, be brief, be brief, be brief, and lead them to the next point.
I love it.
Thanks.
No, Anna, thank you so much for sharing that. Again, I don't care who you are or what you do. I care that you do it to the best of your ability. And if there are ways to leverage tools or knowledge or skills to accomplish that, that's the mission behind Elify. I think that's what Scott was saying, to elevate your business and simplify your life. And really, if we all dive into that, I'm always amazed at what we can accomplish. So that's always been our mantra. That will always be our goal. And it just, I can't even express the gratitude to everybody who uses the technology and has an experience from that. You know, to hear that you hit Amazon bestseller, which is one of the things that we were talking about before the book even launched, and to hear that it got accomplished in multiple categories, and to hear that a good chunk, a slice of that 30% was through your card. Oh my gosh, like, I'm ecstatic.
And the only what do you call them? International purchases were made through this card.
I mean, again, this makes me think of something, Anna. Every time people talk, like Jeff was talking about, it makes me think of 10 other things, guys.
I can't work fast enough.
Right? Think about this for a moment. Think about this for a moment, because this is the stuff that goes along in my head all the time. Almost half, it's 40%, but almost half of small businesses. And guys, there's 32 million registered small businesses in the United States, a little bit more than that. And 99.9 of them are small businesses, right? They're like me. They wear the CEO hat and the trash man hat and every hat in between in their business. And they're just trying to do their best. And they're wanting more. You know what I mean? It's just so powerful that it can have that type of impact. And if we can play a part in that, if 40% don't have an online presence, right? If trillions of dollars in commerce are happening online and you're not there for somebody to purchase, you miss out on that. That's lost opportunity cost, as we would, lost opportunity, as we talk about it in business. So the fact that, Anna, this allowed you to get orders from Europe that you wouldn't all have had makes me ecstatic. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I didn't get a dime back on any of those royalties, on any of those books. And that's not the goal at all. The goal is to help you do what you do better. We get it when we get a subscriber. That's it. I'm not looking for anything more than to help other people and to provide some awesome tools, some awesome skills, and some awesome knowledge. So Anna, kudos to you. Look forward to supporting and continue to support any way we can. Keep the feedback coming, and let us know if you see any other great results. All right, guys, we've got about 7 minutes left. I don't know if there's anybody else who has anything to say. Otherwise, got plenty to fill up the time with. Anybody? Last call?
That book card did inspire something else. Just having people read the name of the chapter and a brief overview. I have a huge demand for doing a class on too many hats. And so I'm going to be doing a masterclass. I'm creating a masterclass to do on a monthly basis, where you can go month to month or on an annual basis, get a membership, whatever. But I'm finding that the one tool that changed me from being too overwhelmed to run 2 businesses and a family now helps me run 7 businesses from my home office. So, and without the overwhelm. So this is one of the best tools that we've ever produced. And it makes it so much easier and quicker for me to get the word out. So the masterclass will be done strictly through Elify Shuffle.
Oh, I love hearing that, Anna. And, one of the things that's always been in Guy and I's heart is to make sure the tool is accessible to everybody. We've never, and we've had people come and talk to us like, hey guys, you're charging too little for this tool. You know what I mean? For what we get out of it, you charge way too little. Guys, we don't want price to be an objection for any business owner. I truly believe that entrepreneurship, people, I was in earlier in the week, Jeff, your group, which is virtual startups, you know what I mean? That business is this path that can take us where we want to go. And most people in my mind are stuck in a trap of maybe being employed or being in the rat race. I talked about this gap of just $500 extra a month, and the people who can't afford an unexpected $500 expense. I don't know if it's just because I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, but I truly see that as the pathway. anybody who's ever read that book, it's a Kiyosaki book. I'm a big person on personal improvement and self-development. Whether it's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or cash flow quadrants, or any of those things, you realize, right? There are 4 categories. If you've never read that book, I'm not going to draw the cross and put the things in there. It's probably copywritten, you know what I mean? But you've got employee, you've got self-employed, you've got business owner, and you've got investor. Guys, most people, I would love to be the investor. Everybody wants to be the investor. That's when your money makes money for you, right? Where you make money your slave and it produces money for you. It gets to work and goes out there and makes little other money. But not everybody has the capital to do that type of stuff. And most everybody is in this employee quadrant, right? Where they're selling their time for money instead of spending their money for time. And Anna, that's really what you talked about, freeing up the time, getting rid of. Honestly, that's one of my major whys, right? Time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom. Yep.
My goal is to take the emotion out of your day. And when you can take the emotion out because your day is planned, you know what's next, you know what tomorrow has, all of that. When you take that out of the quotient of work that you do during the day, you eliminate overwhelm and you find that there's more time than you thought there was because you're not being distracted. And I would have never thought that being as anal as managing a calendar would make me a better business person and a better person altogether. So I love it.
I appreciate that. And that's, I mentioned this earlier. I know, Anna, you're big on supporting and helping business and small business and everything like that with all you've done over the last 40 years. That's one of the things that we're passionate about. I was just mentioning this, right? Like we all want to be investors. It'd be great to have all the capital in the world to be an investor. If you've ever read Warren Buffett's story, that's a great investor story, right? But we're not all Berkshire Hathaway here. On the other end, a lot of employees there. That leaves 2 things in the middle, right? You can either be self-employed or you can be a business owner. And I think a lot of people segue from employment into self-employed. And the reality is, if you're going down that path, a lot of us will work 80 hours a week to avoid working 40 hours a week, right? That's where we all get started. We want to be our own boss. We want to control our time. We want to be able to fire ourselves at the end of the day and be able to rehire ourselves at the next morning. But the key to the difference between those two that I really want to call out for people is the difference between self-employed and being a business owner is when you're self-employed, you own a job. And when you're a business owner, you own a system. That's the biggest difference. And when you own a system, you can have things like leverage. You can have things like time freedom. At least in our model, you can have things like location freedom. I don't know. Guy flew out earlier this week, and he's been on these virtual calls remotely from another place. Guys, in a few months, I'm going to be in Mexico with my family enjoying some time freedom. You know what I mean? And I'm going to pop onto our calls from a foreign location. This is the beauty of living. I had a call earlier. I was going to say living that laptop lifestyle, but the reality is the U economy and that mobile lifestyle, it's really going to be based on these things. Based on these things. We've got these supercomputers in our hands that we can run a business system from that can create a residual income stream for us. And to Anna, your point, it's about creating multiple streams of income. And then all of a sudden you start to see and rise up from that. And if we can play a part in that, either through our product and helping you promote what you already do, or through the affiliate program and giving you a new conduit to increase your income, we want to play that role. All right, we're at the top of the hour. I see one hand left up. Gary, you get the closing comments, questions, or words. Go ahead.
I was on ad to just think about where if you go into those little small icon buttons, you could add a heap of pictures in for that to do thousands of different things.
Yeah.
And it don't take up near as much room because they're little small icons. You can put 5 on a line.
Yep. Gary, I think what this makes me think of is the flexibility in the platform. Whatever you envision, we have to realize the entire internet, what you know and what you think of in the internet is just made up of a series of web pages. Some of those web pages are linked together. Jeff would call them a funnel if you're linking them linearly. Some of them are cross-linked together. We started out saying, how do we describe these cross-linked web pages? The web, right? That's where the term came from. They're all cross-linked together like a spider web. So you have that capability on this platform to create whatever you envision as a landing page or string them together. We got people who string them together, we call them a microsite, right? You got people who string them together, we call them a sales funnel. But the power is there to do that. Now the call to action is get out there and do it. Get out there and do it. Get it done, send it out there, see what the result is, go through and iterate on it and optimize it until it does and performs for you in the way that you envisioned. So guys, with that being said, I want to thank you again for coming on for Friday with the Founders. If you need anything, please comment in the groups or reach out to us. We want to support you. We'll be kicking things back off again on Monday, with our sprint planning call. Tuesday's Tech Tuesday. Wednesday will be our networking event. Thursday is going to be a roundtable. Friday will be this call again. And for the weekend, I'm going to encourage you guys, will, skill, and refill. Okay? What are you working on? What's your will? What's your why? Remind yourself of that. Skill. Do you have the knowledge and skills to get where you're going? If not, start to develop those things. There's so much information out there. To Jeff's point, you don't have to pay a guru, in my opinion, tens of thousands of dollars. I know I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on education, and most of it could have been covered with $1.75 in late fees at the local library. Google's going to give you access to all of this information. Develop your skills and then refill. Constantly remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing so that you can continue to stay motivated and inspired to advance yourself forward. So with that being said, everybody, have a wonderful